The ocean whispers where the horizon fades into mist. Its voice is ancient, older than memory itself. Listen closely, and you may hear the heartbeat of eternity. Beneath the rolling tides, a kingdom waits unseen. A palace of coral and pearl shimmers in endless blue. It belongs to one ruler, timeless and eternal. His name is Poseidon, king of the ocean. Not just a god, but a guardian of balance. The waves are his crown, the tides, his song. Every current moves with the rhythm of his will. Sailors once whispered his name before journeys. They trusted the sea as they trusted his hand. The ocean could be gentle, calm, and kind. Yet it could rise in power, fierce and unyielding. This was not anger, but the sea's eternal truth. The ocean gives life, and it reminds us of respect. Every ripple carries a story older than the stars. Every storm speaks of a god's eternal watch. Tonight, we travel deep into his timeless realm. We seek the story of the Eternal Ocean King. So close your eyes and let the waves guide you. The journey begins where the shore meets the endless sea. Long before the world knew the names of gods, there was silence. The silence was not empty, but filled with endless possibility. From that silence rose the vastness of sky, earth, and sea. The sea stretched endlessly, deep and dark, waiting for its voice. And in the heart of that waiting, a god was born. He was not like mortals, who breathe for a moment and fade. He was eternal, a spirit woven from salt and tide. This god was Poseidon, destined to guard the ocean's throne. He did not cry as mortals do when they are born. Instead, the sound of waves rising became his first breath. The thunder of waters crashing became the echo of his heart. The foam upon the waves became the crown upon his brow. And so the ocean recognized him as its chosen king. The other gods of Olympus saw his power clearly. For Poseidon was not merely strong, he was unyielding as stone. He carried within him the wild heart of the seas. No storm could silence him, no calm could erase him. He was both the silence and the thunder that follows. When mortals looked to the ocean, they saw mystery. But when gods looked, they saw Poseidon's eternal presence. From the first sunrise to the first twilight, he stood. The sea knew no beginning, and neither did he. Poseidon's spirit was the rhythm of tides, forever moving. He grew not as mortals grow, slowly with years. He grew as waves grow, sudden, strong, and unstoppable. Each tide added to his wisdom, each storm to his strength. And yet, he was not cruel, though power was his nature. The sea had chosen him not to destroy, but to protect. It was balance he carried, balance between calm and chaos. For water could cradle a ship, but it could also test it. Water could nourish the land, yet also shape its borders. Poseidon understood this truth better than any living soul. He was born not only of water, but of purpose. His siblings, Zeus and Hades, would claim their realms. Zeus took the skies, and Hades took the underworld. Poseidon did not argue, for he already knew his path. The sea was endless, and it needed no debate. It needed a guardian, and he was already chosen. So Poseidon embraced his fate with pride and calm certainty. He became the breath of every tide and wave. He became the voice sailors would someday whisper to. He became the silence at dawn and the storm at dusk. Every ocean swell was his pulse, every current his will. He did not see himself as ruler, but as keeper. For the sea was alive, and he was its guardian. He walked through waves as mortals walk through fields. He listened to the call of whales, dolphins, and deep beings. They recognized him, and he recognized them in return. All the ocean's creatures became part of his eternal family. In their songs, he heard both joy and sorrow. In their silence, he heard secrets older than the world. And he kept those secrets, for that was his duty. So the legend of Poseidon's birth spread across eternity. Mortals would never know the full truth of his beginning. But the sea itself remembers, in every tide and storm. It remembers the moment he opened his eternal eyes. It remembers the first time the waves called him king. And it whispers still. Poseidon was not made, but revealed. For the ocean did not find him. It had always been him. He was, and always will be, the Eternal Ocean King. There is a story told in whispers of the sea's first gift. It was not treasure of gold, nor jewels from the deep. It was a trident, shining with the light of eternity. Forged not by mortals, but by the hands of creation itself. Some say it was shaped by the Cyclopes, ancient smiths of flame. Others say it rose from the ocean, born of salt and storm. But all agree it was meant only for Poseidon's hand. Its 3 prongs glimmered like rays of a hidden sun. Its shaft was carved from a substance beyond mortal knowing. It pulsed with the rhythm of waves, alive with ocean breath. When Poseidon first touched it, the sea stirred in answer. Currents bent toward him, tides lifted to greet him. The waves recognized the trident as their eternal command. It was not simply a weapon, but a bond of trust. The ocean placed its heart into the hands of its king. Each prong carried a secret meaning, known only to him. One spoke of creation, the endless birth of new tides. One spoke of harmony, the balance between calm and storm. One spoke of mystery, the unknown depths beyond vision. Together, they formed the truth of the ocean itself. With the trident, Poseidon did not strike with cruelty. He guided waters, lifted waves, and calmed raging storms. He carved safe harbors for sailors who prayed to him. He raised islands where none had stood before. He shaped coastlines with a touch, gentle yet eternal. Where he walked, rivers bent to find the sea again. Where he stood, oceans stretched wider, proud and unending. The trident was not a throne, but a bridge. It joined the god and his realm in perfect unity. Without it, Poseidon would still be powerful, yet distant. With it, he became inseparable from the sea's essence. Mortals who glimpsed the trident spoke of awe, not fear. They said it shimmered like sunlight upon calm waters. Others claimed it roared like a storm when lifted high. Both were true, for it reflected the sea's many moods. Even the gods respected the trident's quiet authority. Zeus held thunder, Hades held shadows, but Poseidon held tides. And the tides were eternal, flowing long after storms passed. The trident reminded them that balance must be preserved. It was not power alone, but responsibility in pure form. Poseidon carried it with dignity, never boastful or vain. He did not wield it to conquer, but to protect. Every ocean creature felt its presence, calm and assured. Dolphins leapt higher, whales sang deeper, currents steadied, for they knew their king held the bond of the sea. The trident hummed softly when storms brewed on the horizon. It warned him of change and guided his response. Sometimes it called for calm, sometimes for thunder. Poseidon always listened, for the trident was wisdom itself. Legends say the stars reflect upon the trident at night, that it catches constellations and holds their stories. It connects sky and sea, reminding all of unity. To mortals, it seemed a miracle beyond their reach. But to Poseidon, it was not a gift, but a trust. The ocean had given him its eternal key, and in return, he vowed to guard its mystery. From then onward, Poseidon and the trident were one, king and sea, joined forever in unbreakable harmony. The ocean's song and the trident's light became one truth, a truth whispered still in every crashing wave. The sea remembers the moment the bond was sealed. It remembers the day Poseidon lifted the eternal trident, and it sings even now. The king and his ocean are one. Beneath the rolling waves lies a palace unseen by mortal eyes. It is not built of stone, nor wood, nor iron. It is crafted of coral, glowing softly in the ocean light. Its walls shimmer with pearls set like stars in the deep. Columns of crystal rise high, carved by the sea's own hand. Seashells form arches, each telling a story of the tides. The floor is smooth sand, glowing as if kissed by moonlight. At its heart stands a throne, shaped by currents and time. It is no seat of conquest, but of guardianship and grace. This is the palace of Poseidon, the Eternal Ocean King. Here the sea is calm, alive with gentle whispers. Dolphins play near the gates, leaping in joy. Whales sing their songs, echoing through halls of water. Schools of fish shimmer like rivers of light passing by. Turtles glide with dignity, as if keeping ancient watch. Every creature finds refuge within the palace walls. They come not as servants, but as companions of the king. For Poseidon rules not with chains, but with kinship. His realm is not fear, but belonging in the deep. The palace breathes with the rhythm of tides. Its doors open wide to the endless ocean beyond. There are no boundaries, only flowing harmony with the sea. Legends say the roof is woven of sea foam and light. At times it glows like dawn, at times like dusk. Stars reflect above, mirrored in the glassy waves. It is a place where sky and sea meet as one. The palace is both fortress and sanctuary. It guards the treasures of the ocean's eternal memory. In its chambers lie stories whispered by waves. Each shell upon its walls holds a secret song. Each pearl carries the echo of a sailor's prayer. Poseidon walks its halls with calm and steady steps. His presence fills the chambers with quiet power. He greets the creatures who gather at his side. To the dolphins he gives laughter, to the whales deep wisdom. To the smallest fish he offers protection and safe passage. No being is too small to be seen in his sight. The throne itself is carved of coral and crystal. It glows with a light that seems alive. When Poseidon sits upon it, the seas grow still. The world listens, for the king has taken his place. But even here, Poseidon is not distant or cold. He does not sit above his realm, but within it. His hand trails through the water, greeting it as friend. The sea responds with gentle waves that caress his throne. The palace itself seems to breathe with his spirit. Legends tell that no mortal may find this place. It is hidden deep beyond maps and horizons. Only those the ocean chooses may glimpse its gates. Even then, the vision fades like a dream upon waking. For the palace belongs to eternity, not to time. It stands unchanged through storms and centuries. Neither tide nor tempest can break its harmony. It endures as long as Poseidon reigns. To the gods of Olympus, it is a wonder unspoken. They know the sea is vast, but not its full beauty. Only Poseidon walks where coral crowns and pearls sing. Only he sits where the tides gather to whisper truth. The palace is his heart, and the ocean his soul. Together they shine brighter than any golden empire. When the waves crash upon distant shores, they carry its song. When the sea falls silent, it remembers the palace still. It is not simply a dwelling, but a promise. A promise that the ocean will always endure. A promise that its king will never abandon it. And so, beneath the endless waves, the palace stands, silent, shimmering, eternal, waiting for those who listen. It is the home of Poseidon, the everlasting Ocean King. The ocean stretches farther than the eye can dream. It has no edges, no walls, no final horizon. It rolls on forever, carrying secrets beyond human reach. This endless sea is Poseidon's eternal dominion. It is not a kingdom with borders, but with infinity. Its map cannot be drawn, for it shifts with each tide. Its heart cannot be found, for it beats everywhere at once. To mortals, the ocean seems vast but measurable. To Poseidon, it is endless, eternal, without beginning or end. The eternal ocean is not simply water, but memory. Each wave holds the echo of ages long forgotten. Each tide carries whispers of times that once were. Poseidon listens, and the ocean speaks back to him. It tells him stories of stars reflected in its surface. It tells him of ships that once sailed, then sank. It tells him of creatures born and lost in its depth. Every ripple is a page, every current a chapter. The ocean is an eternal book, always being written. Poseidon is its reader, keeper, and guardian. He walks upon its surface as mortals walk upon soil, but he knows no ground beneath him, only waves. For him, the sea is both foundation and sky. The eternal ocean is never still, yet never lost. Its changes are not chaos, but the rhythm of time. Calm follows storm, storm follows calm, and the cycle continues. It teaches that all things rise and fall in balance. Poseidon does not fight the sea's moods. He embraces them. He lets the waves rise, knowing they will rest again. He lets the silence linger, knowing it will roar once more. Through this, he learns patience beyond measure. Through this, he becomes eternal as the waters themselves. Mortals fear the endless ocean, for it swallows sight. But to Poseidon, it is comfort, his eternal companion. It cradles him as it cradles the moon's reflection. It guides him as it guides the stars above. He is never alone, for the sea is always with him. Even the gods of Olympus look upon the sea in awe. They see its vastness and know it belongs to Poseidon. Zeus may rule the skies, but they end at the horizon. Hades may rule the underworld, but it ends in silence. Poseidon's ocean ends nowhere. It is forever. The eternal ocean reflects his spirit, boundless, unending. It is both a mirror and an extension of his soul. When he moves, the tides follow. When he speaks, the waters echo his voice. When he is silent, the ocean holds its breath. This bond cannot be broken, for it is not made. It simply is, as eternal as time itself. The ocean has seen empires rise upon its shores. It has seen them fall, swallowed by sands and waves. Yet still it rolls on, indifferent yet eternal. Poseidon does not grieve these changes. He understands them. For he knows the ocean will outlast all crowns. He knows his reign is not about conquest, but continuity. The sea does not conquer, it endures. And so does he, the Eternal Ocean King. At night, the ocean glimmers beneath the stars. Its surface mirrors the heavens, making earth and sky one. Poseidon gazes upon it and sees eternity twice, above in the stars and below in the waves. This is the secret of the eternal ocean. It is not merely water, but infinity's reflection. It holds no end, no boundary, no final shore. It is the breath of Poseidon, timeless and true. It is his crown, his realm, his eternal companion. And so the waves continue, never ceasing, never fading. They sing the same song they have sung for ages, a song without end, as eternal as the ocean itself. And in that song, Poseidon's name is forever carried, for he is not apart from the ocean, but the ocean itself. The eternal ocean is Poseidon, and Poseidon is the eternal ocean. Beneath the glittering surface, the ocean hides its deepest wonders. The sunlight fades as one journeys down through layers of blue. Shadows grow longer, colors shift, and silence begins to hum. This is the realm where Poseidon holds his secret treasures. Not treasures of gold or gems, but of life itself. The ocean is home to countless creatures, each one unique. Some dance in schools that shimmer like living silver. Others drift slowly, glowing with light in endless night. Each life is a reflection of Poseidon's boundless imagination. He does not sculpt them from stone, but from flowing water. They are born from the currents, shaped by tides of time. Tiny plankton sparkle like stars drifting across the dark sea. Mighty whales sing songs that echo across vast distances. Their voices carry stories older than any human kingdom. Poseidon listens, smiling, for he knows each voice well. The coral reefs stand like grand palaces beneath the waves. They burst with color, brighter than any mortal crown. Fish weave through them as if moving through living gardens. Here Poseidon walks, unseen, blessing the reefs with growth. Every coral branch, every tiny shell sings his name softly. In the deep trenches lie mysteries mortals may never see. Creatures with eyes like lanterns glow in eternal darkness. They swim like sparks of fire, drifting in endless night. To mortals, they would seem strange, even terrifying. But to Poseidon, they are perfect, beloved children of the sea. The ocean floor itself moves like a living canvas. Mountains rise, valleys sink, and rivers of fire glow beneath. The sea reshapes itself, always in motion, always alive. Poseidon watches, never tiring of its eternal dance. For him, every shift is a note in the ocean's song. He knows the pathways of whales as they cross the seas. He knows the journey of turtles returning to ancient shores. He knows the silver flash of fish that leap with the tide. None are forgotten, for all belong to his eternal care. Even the smallest creature carries a spark of his will. The krill, drifting like dust, are as precious as the dolphin. Every creature has a place, every life a purpose. Together, they form the endless tapestry of the deep. The ocean is not chaos, but harmony in motion. Its creatures move in balance, guided by unseen hands. Poseidon's hands, though invisible, are always present. He does not rule with chains, but with care and respect. The creatures follow not commands, but the rhythm of the sea. For the ocean itself is their home, their sanctuary. And Poseidon is its keeper, never absent, never weary. Mortals speak of his trident, powerful and divine. But his true power lies not in a weapon, but in creation. His strength is the life he nurtures in every tide. His glory is the abundance of the world beneath the waves. This abundance is his crown, more radiant than gold. And his subjects are not slaves, but companions in eternity. Even the storms that stir the waters serve a purpose. They bring new life, new change, new beginnings. The ocean does not destroy without also giving in return. It takes, but it always gives back, with greater abundance. This is the secret mortals often forget when they fear it. The ocean is not wrath, but balance in eternal flow. Poseidon ensures this balance, never faltering, never failing. For him, every drop of water is sacred, every creature divine. And so the great kingdom beneath the waves thrives. It thrives without greed, without conquest, without end. It thrives because it flows with Poseidon's eternal love. Here lies his true power, not in thunder or fury, but in the quiet pulse of life, unbroken and everlasting. The Eternal Ocean King is not just ruler of waters. He is the guardian of all who call the sea their home. And through him, the ocean will forever remain alive. Far beyond the reach of sunlight, the ocean grows quiet and still. Here lies the deep, a realm few dare to imagine. It is vast, dark, and silent, yet alive with hidden mysteries. This is where Poseidon's power takes on its deepest form. He is not only lord of waves and storms, but of silence. In the stillness of the deep, his presence is most profound. No mortal eye has seen all that dwells in this abyss. Yet Poseidon knows every trench, every cavern, every secret. The ocean floor stretches like an endless canvas beneath him. Mountains rise unseen, taller than those on land. Valleys sink into shadows, deeper than mortal fear, and rivers of warmth flow beneath, feeding hidden life. Poseidon moves among these unseen wonders like a silent guardian. He does not disturb them, but watches with eternal care. The deep ocean is a kingdom of its own, timeless and vast. It holds mysteries that even the stars cannot comprehend. Here, light does not guide, but sound carries far. The calls of whales echo through the water like prayers. Each note vibrates through the abyss, reaching Poseidon's ears. He hears them all, every voice, every whisper in the dark. Even the smallest sound carries meaning in the still waters. The ocean floor tells stories in quiet tremors and shifts. Mountains groan, trenches sigh, and the earth reshapes itself. Poseidon feels these movements as one feels a heartbeat. He knows when the earth stirs, when new land is born. He knows when the sea floor sinks, creating hidden valleys. This silent rhythm connects him to the bones of the world. He is not just ruler of waves, but of the earth. Beneath, the deep sea holds creatures unlike any on the surface. Some drift like shadows with bodies thin as glass. Others glow softly, carrying their own light in endless night. To mortals, they would seem strange and otherworldly. But to Poseidon, they are perfect children of his depth. He watches them move slowly, gracefully, without need of haste. They do not chase power, nor fear the silence around them. They live as the deep has taught them, quiet, patient, eternal. Poseidon loves them as much as he loves the leaping dolphins. For in their stillness lies wisdom older than the stars. The deep teaches him the art of silence and waiting. It reminds him that eternity is not in speed, but in patience. Every creature here is a lesson, every shadow a reminder. Even the darkness is not emptiness, but fullness unseen. The deep carries treasures mortals will never hold, not jewels or gold, but the treasure of timeless being. Here lies peace, unbroken by storms or mortal wars. The silence of the abyss is Poseidon's greatest sanctuary. When the world above grows loud with thunder and strife, he retreats here. He listens to the steady pulse of the deep. It tells him that all things will pass, yet the ocean remains. This knowledge gives him strength beyond even Olympus. The gods may argue, mortals may build and destroy, but beneath it all, the deep remains unchanged, eternal. It whispers to Poseidon of time without end. It promises that the ocean's song will outlast all voices, and Poseidon, in turn, promises to protect its silence. For in this silence lies the secret of his eternity. He is not a king of noise and fury alone. He is also a king of stillness, of patience, of endless calm. The deep is his throne, vast and unseen by mortal eyes. It cradles him in its shadows, yet fills him with light. Here, Poseidon is both ruler and listener, teacher and student. The ocean above may roar, but the deep teaches peace. And so, he balances storm and silence within his soul. He is not only the god of the surface waves, he is the eternal keeper of the deep, the hidden world below. In that hidden world, his true eternity is revealed, not in power displayed, but in silence embraced forever. The ocean is not only water and depth. but also motion and rhythm. Its greatest dance is the tide, eternal and unbroken. Every rise and fall is the heartbeat of Poseidon's realm. The moon draws the waters, yet it is Poseidon who guides them. He shapes the rhythm so it flows in harmony with the earth. The tide is not mere movement, but a song of balance. Shorelines breathe in and out with its endless pulse. Rivers meet the sea and bow to its patient rhythm. Beaches shift, sands drift, yet the ocean remains whole. The tide carries both endings and beginnings in every wave. When it rises, it brings renewal to the shores. When it falls, it leaves behind treasures of the deep. Shells, corals, and driftwood are gifts of the tide. Each one carries a memory of distant waters. Mortals once believed these gifts to be Poseidon's blessings. They offered prayers to the tide before journeys began, for they knew the sea's favor was never promised. Yet those who respected its rhythm often found safe passage. Poseidon did not demand worship, only reverence for balance. The tide is balance made visible, eternity in motion. It does not hurry, it does not delay, it simply flows. Through it, Poseidon teaches patience and humility to all. For even kings and empires cannot resist the tide's call. Their walls crumble, their ports sink, their stones are carried away. The tide remembers nothing, yet it changes everything. Poseidon knows this truth better than any mortal or god. He watches empires rise like castles of sand. He watches them fall as the tide pulls them away. Yet he does not mourn, for he knows this is the way. The ocean does not cling to the past, it flows onward. And so, he too embraces eternity without regret. To him, the tide is not destruction, but transformation. Every wave that falls will rise again in time. Every shore that erodes will be shaped anew. The tide is the sea's eternal promise of renewal. Its pull connects not only waters, but also hearts. Fishermen wake with it. Sailors chart by its flow. Children play in its foam. Poets dream by its song. It is the bridge between land and sea, mortal and divine. Poseidon listens to the tide as one listens to music. Each rise and fall is a note in his eternal symphony, sometimes soft as a lullaby, sometimes fierce as a drumbeat, but always steady, always true, never ceasing. This rhythm is his gift to the world of mortals, for through it, they learn that nothing lasts unchanged. All things shift, all things move, yet life continues. Poseidon finds joy in this endless cycle. He is not a tyrant clinging to permanence. He is a guardian who delights in transformation. For the tide is not only his power, but his poetry. When mortals watch the waves crash against the shore, they see him. When they hear the retreating hush of the sea, they hear him. When they stand in awe of its endless return, they feel him. Poseidon's presence is not always thunderous or seen in storms. Often, it is in the gentle pull of the tide. A reminder that eternity does not roar, it flows. That divinity is not always fire, but often water. And water teaches the world how to move, how to endure. The tide is his eternal lesson, whispered through waves. It tells mortals to rise, to fall, and to rise again. It teaches them that endings are beginnings in disguise. And in every tide, Poseidon's hand is there, unseen but certain. The Eternal Ocean King needs no throne of stone. His throne is the tide itself, rising and falling without end. In this rhythm, his eternity is clear and unbroken. He is the master of motion, the poet of the sea. Through the tide, Poseidon speaks forever to the world. The ocean holds more than tides and storms. It keeps secrets in its depths, whispers hidden beneath the waves. Poseidon knows them all, for nothing escapes his gaze. Some secrets are ancient, born before mortals walked the land. Others are new, carried by drifting ships and wandering souls. The ocean remembers everything, though it speaks little. Its silence is not emptiness, but a keeper of truths. Poseidon listens, and the sea tells him its stories. A lost island swallowed by waves remains alive in memory. A sunken temple still glows faintly with forgotten prayers. Even the voices of sailors echo faintly in its song. They speak of journeys, of hopes, of final farewell. Each secret rests in the water like a pearl in a shell, unseen, untouched, but never forgotten. Mortals often fear the sea for its mysteries. They call it dark, endless, and unknowable. But Poseidon smiles, for he knows mystery is beauty. What is hidden gives depth to what is seen. What is unknown makes life richer than answers alone. He does not reveal all that the ocean keeps, for some truths are not meant for mortal hearts. Yet sometimes he allows a glimpse of its hidden wonders. A glowing fish rising from the deep in moonlight. A forgotten relic washing ashore with the tide. A dreamer who hears the sea whisper in sleep. Such moments are gifts, though mortals rarely understand. They see only chance, not Poseidon's gentle hand. But the sea's mysteries are not random. They are chosen. Every secret revealed has its purpose, quiet and clear. Poseidon teaches through mystery, not through commands. He invites mortals to listen, to wonder, to seek. The ocean's secrets are mirrors of the human soul. Each depth reflects the unknown inside every heart. For just as no one can measure the sea's end, no one can measure the true depth of themselves. Mystery is not danger, but a call to discovery. Poseidon guards this truth with patience eternal. He knows mortals often crave certainty, not mystery. They fear what they cannot name or hold. But he lets the ocean remain unknowable for their growth. For certainty ends wonder, but mystery keeps it alive. In every secret kept, the sea reminds mortals to dream, to look beyond the horizon, to imagine what lies unseen, to trust that not all answers are needed to live. Poseidon himself is mystery, as eternal as the deep. Even the gods do not fully know his heart. He walks among them, yet he belongs to the ocean alone. He speaks, but always leaves questions lingering behind. This is his way, the way of the tide and the wave. A truth shown, a truth hidden, forever in balance. Mortals may pray to him for certainty, but what he gives is mystery, and that is greater. For mystery leads to wonder, and wonder leads to faith. Not faith in answers, but in the beauty of the unknown. And so the ocean holds its secrets gently, not to torment, but to inspire. Not to hide, but to protect. The mysteries of the sea are treasures without weight. They belong not to those who demand, but to those who listen. Poseidon rewards the listener, the dreamer, the seeker. Those who stand quietly at the shore and hear. Those who dive into questions, not only answers. For they are closest to him, closest to the eternal sea. In the end, the greatest secret of the ocean is simple. It is not what lies beneath, but what it awakens above. It awakens awe, silence, and the courage to wonder. And in that wonder, mortals touch the edge of eternity. Poseidon smiles, for this is his gift. Not storms, not wrath, not gold nor stone, but the endless mystery of the sea, forever alive. A secret that is never solved, yet always shared. The ocean is vast, but not silent. It sings with 1,000 voices, each carried on the wind and wave. Poseidon listens, for the sea is both his throne and his choir. Its song is not made of words, but of rhythm and resonance. Waves crashing against cliffs become drums of power. The whisper of foam on sand is the sea's lullaby. The call of gulls weaves into the melody of salt and sky. Even the deep has its music, slow and eternal as a heartbeat. Whales sing ballads that echo across continents. Fish shimmer like notes, darting in silent harmony. Currents move like breath, weaving hidden verses below. This is the symphony of Poseidon's realm, endless and alive. He is not only its king, but its conductor. With a thought, he can raise the ocean's chorus in grandeur. With silence, he can let it fall into gentle stillness. Every sound of the sea is part of his eternal hymn. Mortals hear only fragments, but even fragments bring wonder. A sailor on the night sea hears waves and feels awe. A child at the shore hears foam and dreams of stories. A poet listens to the gulls and writes verses of longing. The music of the ocean inspires because it is unending. It changes with the tide, yet always returns in form. It is ancient, yet always new, like Poseidon himself. Some say storms are his symphonies of power. Lightning, thunder, and crashing waves are his loudest notes. Yet storms are not his only song. The gentle rocking of waves is just as divine. In calm waters, his hymn is soft and infinite, a reminder that power can be quiet and still. Mortals often mistake volume for greatness. But Poseidon knows music lives in balance, not in noise. That is why he treasures the silence between waves. For silence gives shape to sound, as shadow gives shape to light. The sea's music teaches mortals without them knowing. They learn patience in the rhythm of tides. They learn humility in the thunder of storms. They learn peace in the hush of calm seas. Each lesson is carried in sound, not words. Poseidon does not lecture, he sings through the water. Those who listen carefully may glimpse his wisdom. A fisherman who knows the sea's tones can sense its moods. A traveler who listens to waves finds courage in the unknown. Even those who never sail still hear the sea in dreams. Its song calls to every heart, for all are born of water. The ocean's music is memory, echoing creation itself. It was there when the first dawn rose. It will be there when the last twilight falls. Poseidon alone knows every note, every rhythm, every silence. To him, the sea is not noise but language. He hears not chaos, but harmony in its endless voice. It speaks to him of balance, change, and eternity. And in return, he keeps its music flowing without end. Sometimes mortals wonder why the sea calls them back, why its sound soothes even the most restless hearts. They do not know it is Poseidon's gift to them, a fragment of the eternal song carried on each wave. The sea's music is not only for the gods, it is for mortals, so they may remember their origin. For they too are water, shaped by tides unseen. When they hear the ocean's hymn, they remember home. Home not of land, but of essence, of beginning. Poseidon smiles when mortals sit by the shore in silence. He knows they are listening, even if they do not understand. And that is enough. For the music does not demand understanding. It only asks for presence, for listening, for awe. The sea's hymn is eternal, never broken, never ending. Poseidon is its keeper, its conductor, and its heart. Through this music, he speaks forever to the world. The ocean has many faces, and each tells a story of Poseidon's nature. Sometimes it is calm, a mirror of endless blue. Sometimes it is restless, rolling in waves of silver light. Sometimes it is fierce, with storms tearing across its surface. But always it is alive, never still, never silent. Poseidon himself is reflected in these shifting moods. He is not bound by one form, for he is the sea. His calm is not weakness, but deep strength held steady. His storms are not fury, but reminders of power and change. The ocean teaches through its moods, and Poseidon watches. When the sea is calm, mortals find peace and courage. They sail, they fish, they live by its gentle grace. When the sea is restless, they learn to adapt, to read its waves, to bend with its motion, not fight. When the sea storms, they remember humility, that no mortal builds higher than the tide can rise, that all must bow to the force that shapes the world. Poseidon does not punish, he teaches through the sea. His moods are not anger, but eternal lessons of balance. For without storm, there is no calm to treasure. Without restlessness, there is no stillness to admire. Each face of the sea has meaning, and all are divine. Mortals sometimes misread the ocean's moods as cruelty. They cry that the sea is harsh, unfair, or merciless. But Poseidon knows balance is never cruelty. The sea gives as much as it takes, always in rhythm. It offers food, travel, wonder, and beauty without end. It also reminds that nothing belongs to mortals forever. Every gift carries responsibility. Every joy carries respect. The moods of the sea are not random. They are wisdom. Poseidon's nature flows through them like water through sand. He too is calm when wisdom is needed. He too is restless when change must come. He too is storm when balance must be restored. The ocean is his mirror, his eternal reflection. Even the gods see his truth in its endless faces. They know Poseidon is not only power, but balance. Not only mystery, but guidance. Not only storm, but calm. The sea does not ask mortals to understand every mood. It asks only that they respect them and live with care. Those who do find harmony with the ocean, those who do not often learn the harder way. Yet Poseidon is patient, for he is eternal. He allows mortals to stumble, to learn, to grow. For just as the tide always returns, so do lessons. Even the hardest storm is followed by calm seas. Mortals who endure find wisdom they could not gain elsewhere. They learn that power is not to be feared, but respected. That calm is not absence, but presence of deep strength. That restlessness is not chaos, but the seed of change. And storms are not punishment, but renewal. Poseidon smiles when mortals finally see this truth, when they see the ocean not as enemy, but teacher, when they understand that every mood has a gift. Then they stand closer to him, closer to eternity. For the Eternal Ocean King is not only ruler, but guide. He shapes the sea not to control, but to teach. His lessons are not carved in stone, but written in waves. Lessons that change, return, and endure, like the tides. So when mortals gaze at the ocean, they see more than water. They see Poseidon's reflection, endless in its forms. They see calm, restlessness, storm, and balance. And in those shifting faces, they glimpse eternity itself. Poseidon is all of these, and beyond them still. For he is the ocean, eternal, unbroken, alive. Through his moods, the world remembers how to live. And through his lessons, his presence is forever felt. The story of Poseidon is not bound to a single age. It flows like the ocean, moving through time without end. Generations rise, generations fall, yet the sea remains. Its waves touch every shore, whispering tales of eternity. Poseidon's presence is not found only in myth or temple. It is carried in the salt of the water and air. It is heard in the crash of waves against ancient cliffs. It is seen in the silver horizon where sky meets sea. The Eternal Ocean King does not vanish with mortal year. He endures in the balance of tides and storms. He endures in the lessons written upon every wave. He endures in the hearts of those who listen to the sea. For to know the ocean is to know something vast. It cannot be claimed, It cannot be possessed. It gives. It takes. It teaches. It renews. Poseidon lives in that eternal cycle, unbroken and alive. Mortals who walk the shore feel it without words. Children who play in waves sense its wonder. Fishermen who rise before dawn trust its rhythm. Sailors who journey far learn its discipline. And dreamers who sit by the coast feel its mystery. Each knows the ocean differently, yet all know Poseidon. His gift is not only power, but presence. Not only storm, but stillness. Not only mystery, but truth. The ocean calls to all, asking only respect. To listen when it is calm, to adapt when it is restless, to bow when it storms, and to remember always that it is alive. This is the heart of Poseidon's eternal story. It is not about conquest or fear. It is about balance, harmony, and reverence. It is about knowing that the sea is not ours. It is about living with wonder, not control. It is about finding strength in its lessons. For the ocean is both mirror and guide. When mortals gaze into its depths, they see themselves. They see their calm, their storms, their endless longing. They see their fragility, their courage, their hope. And in that reflection, they find wisdom. Poseidon does not demand worship to be eternal. He does not require offerings to exist. He simply is, as the sea is. He is vast, unending, alive in every tide. To honor him is to honor the ocean itself, to care for its waters, to respect its life, to walk gently upon its shores, to remember that its gifts are not endless. Mortals who forget invite imbalance. Mortals who remember walk with wisdom. The Eternal Ocean King smiles upon the latter, for they see the truth hidden in the waves, that every drop carries history, that every tide carries renewal, that every storm carries change, and that life, like the sea, flows without end. As this tale closes, the sound of the ocean lingers, waves rising and falling like breath eternal. The voice of Poseidon carried in every ripple, the promise of the sea stretching beyond sight. The Eternal Ocean King does not fade with silence. He remains waiting in the depths. He remains watching from the horizon. He remains alive in the tide that returns again. So when you stand by the shore, listen closely. Hear the waves, the wind, the heartbeat of the sea. Feel the presence of Poseidon around you, not as myth, but as eternity itself. For the ocean is endless, and so is he. Poseidon, the Eternal Ocean King, forever flows.